Welcome to the inside story on the respiratory system.
Hey, welcome to the Transcendental Meditation Feel Good Show. I'm your host, Bongo, the Big Kahuna.
This is my favorite show.
Most excellent. And now, I want all of you to take a really deep breath. Awesome!
Adam and I are doing some relaxing, deep breathing this morning. If you want to join us and learn about the process of breathing, just click on the picture.
My two lungs are the primary organs of my respiratory system. They sit to the left and right of my heart within a space called the thoracic cavity. The cavity is bounded by my rib cage and has a sheet of muscle called the diaphragm as its floor, separating it from my abdominal cavity. Other components of my respiratory system, such as my trachea or windpipe and bronchi, conduct air to my lungs, while my pleural membranes allow my lungs to move more smoothly within my thoracic cavity.
The process of breathing or respiration is divided into two distinct phases. The first phase is called inspiration or inhaling. During inhalation, Adam's diaphragm contracts and pulls downward. At the same time, the muscles between his ribs contract and pull upward. This increases the size of his thoracic cavity and decreases the pressure inside. As a result, air rushes in and fills his lungs. The second phase is called expiration or exhaling. During exhalation, Adam's diaphragm relaxes and the volume of the thoracic cavity decreases, while the pressure within it increases. As a result, Adam's lungs contract and air is forced out. Dr. Harper, what is asthma and what causes it?
Asthma is a condition that affects breathing. 10 million Americans have asthma, and doctors most often see it in children. Its symptoms include difficulty in breathing, wheezing, a tight feeling in the chest, and coughing up mucus. When you breathe in something you are allergic to, also called an allergen, your immune system releases chemicals called histamines. These chemicals cause the lining of the lung airways to swell and increase mucus production, resulting in an asthma attack. Pollen, mold spores, animal fur, dust mites, respiratory infections, smoke, pollution, and even exercise can trigger these attacks.
Dr. Harper, what are the treatments for asthma?
If you suffer from asthma, you should take care to avoid any substances or activities that can cause an asthma attack. Depending on how serious your case of asthma is, your doctor may prescribe medications called bronchodilators. When inhaled, bronchodilators provide immediate relief by opening the lung airways for easier breathing. It's important to follow your doctor's instructions when using bronchodilators to treat asthma.
And now your lungs feel like tiny little balloons filled to bursting with life-giving air. But remember, dudes, don't hold your breath for more than a minute or so, or you'll hit the floor like the wave hits the shore. Well, I'm like one of those poem-writing dudes.
You know, I think he's right.
Whoa!
Adam's balloon has burst more than a few times in his life, but fortunately, his lungs never have. And that's a good thing because he needs them to replenish the oxygen supply in his bloodstream, as you can see by clicking on the picture. air first enters Adam's body through his mouth or nose and quickly moves to his pharynx or throat. From there, the air passes through his larynx or voice box and enters his trachea. Adam's trachea is a strong tube that contains rings of cartilage that prevent it from collapsing. Within his lungs, his trachea branches into a left and right bronchus, which further divide into smaller and smaller branches called bronchioles. The smallest bronchioles end in tiny air sacs called alveoli, which inflate during inhalation and deflate during exhalation. Gas exchange is the delivery of oxygen from the lungs to the bloodstream and the elimination of carbon dioxide from the bloodstream to the lungs. It occurs in Adam's lungs between his alveoli and a network of tiny blood vessels called capillaries. Here you see red blood cells traveling through his capillaries. The walls of the alveoli actually share a membrane with Adam's capillaries. That's how close they are. This makes it possible for oxygen and carbon dioxide to diffuse or move freely between his respiratory system and his bloodstream. Oxygen molecules attach to red blood cells, which travel back to his heart. At the same time, the carbon dioxide molecules in his alveoli are blown out of Adam's body with his next exhalation. This gas exchange allows him to replenish the oxygen he needs for his survival.
And now, we will begin the Transcendental Meditation feel-good portion of our show. First of all, you must relax. Relax. Relax.
To see what happens when Adam gets too relaxed, click on the picture. Not exactly mood music. When he sleeps, Adam's airways become partially blocked, forcing his lungs to inhale harder to compensate for the lack of air entering his body. The problem is that these two structures, his soft palate and his uvula, vibrate. Snoring results from that vibration. Several factors are thought to cause snoring, including poor muscle tone, too much alcohol, heavy smoking, colds or allergies, and obesity. Here's a little trick I learned to help me deal with Adam's snoring. Wake up! Wake up, Adam! The program's over.
What? Are we there yet?
Where? You fell asleep.
No, I didn't. I wasn't asleep. I was just meditating. That's it. That's the ticket.
Say, have you got a smoke for a fellow American who's down on his luck?
You and your impersonations. You don't even smoke. Coughing and smoking are the two final respiratory subjects that we want to discuss. I'll let Adam tell you about coughing in this next animation. Just click on this picture.
Big deal. So what? Coughing 100 miles per hour? That's faster than my car can probably go. Coughing is my mechanism for clearing my breathing passages of unwanted irritants. Take a look at my vocal cords for a minute before I cough for you. In order for me to cough, several events take place in sequence. First, my vocal cords open widely, allowing additional air to get sucked into my lungs. Then, my epiglottis closes off my windpipe and rib muscles contract. With the increased pressure, the air is forcefully expelled and creates a rushing sound as it moves very quickly past my vocal cords. The rushing air is what dislodges the irritant, making it possible for me to breathe comfortably again.
When Adam and I started dating, smoking was pretty popular. Fortunately, as we grew up, we stopped smoking and started running.
Lungs are our primary respiratory organs and act as filters for our bodies. Normally, they're a healthy pink color, as seen in this microscopic view of my alveoli. Filtering smoke from the air we breathe can do some pretty ugly damage, as seen on the right in this smoker's lung. This can eventually lead to the formation of tumors and other serious lung disease.
Smoking has also been linked to diseases which affect the cardiovascular system, such as atherosclerosis, which can lead to heart attacks and stroke. The best advice is, if you don't smoke, don't start. If you do smoke, it's never too late to quit. Many airborne irritants make us cough, including cigarette smoke. But cigarettes do a lot of damage that coughing can't repair, as you can see by clicking on the picture.